Are you a teacher and feeling just a little bit overwhelmed at the thought of using Zoom for your classroom instruction? Hi, I'm Jennifer with Simply Kinder, and today I'm going to take you inside Zoom, show you how to set it up, show you some of the features you might want to use, and basically just get you going. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to assume that you already have an account, but if you don't have an account, it's super easy to set up, and if you're watching this during the coronavirus pandemic, you can get an account for free just by going to zoom.us, and there's this green bar right here right now that will show you how to do that. On a little side note, you might also want to check with your district because many districts already have accounts with Zoom and they may have a little bit higher permission levels on things or access levels. So you may want to go through your district as well. I would 100% check with your administration before doing any of this to make sure that you're following policy as well too. And so let's go ahead and get started. You're going to go to zoom.us when you're ready to hold your meeting. Now, for some reason, I don't know if it's just me, but when I go to zoom.us, I get join a meeting or host a meeting. Join a meeting you can go to if you have the meeting code, and I'll show you where to get that in a minute. Host a meeting is where you're going to want to go as a teacher if you just want to quick link. You can do a meeting with video off, a meeting with video on, or a screen share video only. Personally, I don't like to go direct like this. I like to go to my profile right here, and I'm going to take you in there as well so that I can show you a few things and explain a few things for you. Sometimes, what I was saying about it being my computer, sometimes this option is not here though, and if you just click this bar, all of a sudden the sign in or your profile appears. So if that's missing, just click up there and it'll appear. So this first one is your profile. So this is going to be your profile for you as the user of Zoom. Why this is important is because this right here is your profile image. Now, I've never uploaded an image. However, you probably should, being that you're meeting with students. And so what will happen is if you turn your camera off, then your computer, your Zoom screen will default to whatever this image is right here. So it can be a little bit important that that little space right there. Settings, I'm gonna mention something on settings in a moment, but when you want to do settings, it's this option right here, and you can preset some of the things that I'm going to show you to do in that section. You plain and simply just turn on and off things so that you don't have to do them every single time. Recordings, anything you save to the cloud is going to go into this recording section, and we don't typically save to the cloud because you're limited on how much space you have on your cloud for Zoom. And so, and for me, I just personally prefer to save everything to my computer, and I'm going to show you how to do that as well. So then you have two options. You have meetings and webinars. So they're both basically the same thing, except the only difference that I know, there may be other differences, but the only difference that I know is with a meeting, it's just you in the meeting. And with a webinar, you can actually take that meeting and you can stream it to either Facebook or to YouTube. Now, you can do those things privately. They don't have to be public. You can take it and you can stream it to a private Facebook group for your class, but there are a few little issues and quirks with that as well. And so at the very end, I will walk you through that so that anybody who wants to do that can also do that. So for this purpose, I would suggest being able to just schedule a meeting. You're not going to need anything too crazy beyond that. And so I'm going to go into meeting and I'm going to schedule a new meeting. Now, I'm going to use this recurring meeting feature. And so I'm going to have it be the same, like I'm going to do one literacy lesson and one math lesson every single day. So I'm just going to title it literacy. This is literacy, and I'll say this is our daily literacy lesson, okay? And then down here, you're going to pick the date. I'm going to pick Pacific time zone. Today's the 21st, and I don't know why it goes 12 and then 1, but the 11 o'clock, well, actually it's 12 o'clock now, so I'm going to go to 12, oh my gosh, is it 12 p.m. or 12 a.m.? I always get that confused, so. I am going to go to 12, I'm actually going to do 11:30, so that way it's already prepped and ready to go. I'm going to change this to AM. Duration is going to be 1 hour. You can change it. It's going to default to 1 hour. It doesn't dictate that at 1 hour you're done and it cuts you off. If you go over, that's great. If you end early, that's great. So you really truly can just leave it at an hour. It just kind of gives your people a sense of how long is this meeting going to last. And so you can adjust that if you want. I've heard also too that the free account, some of the teachers are saying that it limits you to 30 minutes. I don't know if that's true or not, but that might be a good reason to break your lessons into 30-minute chunks too. Of course, they're 5, and so we don't want to be overwhelming them with hours and hours and hours of videos to watch every day. And then I am going to check this recurring meeting down here so that you can see how it works. So I want this meeting to recur daily. I want it to repeat once every day. So today, tomorrow, the next day, the next day, the next day. And I want it to go all the way until, well, as far as it'll let me go, because why not? Okay. What this is going to do, hopefully we're not dealing with this until May 10th, but what this is going to do is this is going to have it so that this particular lesson that you do every single day uses the same one link. So if you go in and you schedule tomorrow's meeting as a different occurrence, they're going to get a link for today and they're going to get a link for tomorrow. And so you just have to decide, is that the way you want to do it? Personally, I think it's best to do one link for the entire thing. And then you can just go live on that one or go into your meeting on that one, event every single day. And I'll show you what that looks like in a moment. Registration, some of these are going to default to being checked, but you're going to uncheck them. So you're going to uncheck registration being required. You're going to uncheck require meeting password. You're going to check off, yes, you want host video. Yes, you want participant video. You want both audio. Enable join before host. That is just completely up to you. Do you want your students to be in there before you chit-chatting? If you don't care, go for it. If you do, then don't. Mute participants upon entry. That's important because if you're already talking and somebody comes in, they might have a dog barking or mom might be screaming in the back or something. And so you really want to control the chaos a little bit by muting everybody. Enable waiting room is kind of the same thing as this. I wouldn't really do it. Only authenticated users can join. I don't think that matters as well. And then super, super important is record meeting automatically on the local computer. You can record it to the cloud. However, you only have so much space on Zoom in order to save your videos. So personally, I would record it to your local computer. Now, I showed you this settings section. A lot of this stuff, registration, meeting password, host on, participant on, video, these options, you can preset in the settings right here so that you don't have to check them every time, so that you don't accidentally forget to do something. So once you get used to this, I would go in and I would go to your settings and I would check off some of those. Just literally scroll down and check on and off the things. Just read them line by line. If you don't know what it is, just leave it how they have it set up. But these ones over here, you can preset. So you can do that. Alternative host right here. Say you have a teacher that's joining you to do your meeting. You could put their email in there and it will give them permission to be a host right alongside with you. But you can also upgrade people to host from inside your meeting, I believe. I'm not sure with meetings if you can, but I know with webinars you can. But we'll check that in a second. So I'm going to go ahead and save this, and it's automatically going to default to this platform, which is this one meeting. And so this is where you'll go. To start the meeting, you're going to hit start here, but I want to take just a step back because now that you've got this recurring meeting, it's going to be in here for you. And I've been playing around with this stuff like crazy. And so I have a lot in here, but tomorrow I would go do this meeting. And the next day I would go do this meeting. So they're going to be preloaded in there for you, all with the same URL. In order to open it, you just click on the topic and it's going to take you to that little dashboard, that little launch pad. And so you can scroll through here and you can see, okay, participant on, host on, video on, record the meeting is on. If it is not, you can edit this meeting and you can go back and adjust some of those settings. And so this right here is the URL that you're going to want to send to your families. And you can also get that, well, look, you can even copy an invitation here. I believe you can also get it on the page previous, but it's not going to hurt you to go in here as well. So you can get that URL there, and we are going to just go ahead and start this meeting. It's going to pop you over to this little browser. It's going to say open in Zoom. You're going to click yes, you want it to open in Zoom. You're going to connect with computer audio, and you are in. This is your meeting space. So let me adjust things so that way you can see them. That little button right there is end meeting. That will be where you actually end your meeting. We're going to go ahead and cover that up so that I don't accidentally end our meeting like I just did. And so this is basically your video conferencing platform. Two things I would do right off the bat would be to have your participant list show and to also have your chat box show. So anybody who's in your meeting will show right here, and then this right here is a little chat. And so I'm going to say, hi everyone. And it's going to actually show as a chat on their box. Now, right here it says to everyone. In that settings section, I have private one-to-one messaging shut off. And that might be a setting you want to go in and play with, so that way your families aren't chatting back and forth without you being able to see what they're doing. But you just want to make sure that says everybody when you're chatting if you're intending it to go to everybody. So I have my participants here. I'll be able to manage them from this spot, and I have my chat box here. When I move my cursor around, you'll see the little bottom bar disappears, but then if I move it, it reappears. This shows that we're recording, which is a good thing. Down here is how I mute my mic. Say someone's at the door and I need to holler at somebody to answer the door. You just hit the mic and it mutes it for your Zoom. Now I'm using screen capture in order to get my video to show you. So you may not have heard it muted, but in the Zoom itself, it will be muted. You can also stop your video here. Say you need to get up. You might want to stop the video. In your setting on your profile, let me see, this part is being temperamental. On your profile, it is actually that image that I told you might want to upload will show right there. I've never uploaded an image, so mine does not show. To re-show your video, you just click that little button again, and it will actually take it off. It always has the red slash on things that are shut off, so you'll see that. Say you need to invite somebody to your Zoom, you are going to, and you haven't done it yet. So at this point, I would hope that you've already sent the link, but just in case you didn't, you would come here to invite, copy URL, and you can copy and paste that over to wherever you need to show it. Now, a little trick is, I'm going to just show you this URL right here, is if you go and you paste the URL, these numbers right here after the slash 149541148, that is actually your code for Zoom. And so if someone's using the app and they just need the code, you just send them that code. They don't necessarily need the whole link. They can use the link as long as they have the app on their phone, it will pull it over. But sometimes, like when I'm doing a Zoom, I'm on my phone kind of watching and monitoring things. And if someone says, hey, I can't get into the Zoom, I can't necessarily pull over here, grab a link, do this, do that. So I'll just grab that link and I'll just say Zoom code is 149, and they can go to the app, enter the code, and they're good to go. So you have two ways of getting them that code when you're live. It's a little tricky when you're on video. I've recorded this particular video probably now 84 times. But it's a little tricky when you have people and it's live managing all the things that need to be done. And it's like, well, I don't really want to go and pull up my Facebook, but I need to get this to her. I don't want to go in my email and email it right from this computer because I don't really want the rest of my families. And there's probably some privacy policies too that might be a violation of, if you pull it up, they can see it. So just be very, very careful of what you're doing when you have your video streaming open. And so, well, I guess they wouldn't see it because you're sharing. It's just me. I'm always super cautious with stuff like that. So that is the invite section. This is the participants I showed you. It pulls you up right over here. You'll be able to mute, unmute. You can mute everybody, unmute everybody, and then there's a more option where you can allow them to unmute themselves, enter an exit chime, allow participants to rename themselves. That might be, I'll show you that when I get some students in here for you to see. Screen share. I'm going to go ahead and show you screen sharing. A few words of caution with screen sharing. Make sure that you have everything set up the way that you want it before you go live, because it's going to show whatever's on your desktop or whatever's on your browser. So just use caution with that, because it can go pretty wrong. For me, what I have done is I took my desktop and I put everything in my desktop on a folder, and so it's out of the way, and everything else is just blank and that kind of thing. And I make sure I have my browser open to whatever URL I'm wanting to go to during my video, my screen share. So I'm going to go ahead and screen share so you can see. So you're going to hit screen share, and then you have some options over here. So I'm going to show you first how to share your desktop. So this is your desktop right here, and you're going to just hit share. And now it's sharing your whole desktop right here. And so up here you'll see stop share. When you're ready to stop, you can stop. So I have some things preloaded in. That's ready. Yep, that's the one that's ready. So I'm going to just pull this down just a smidge so I can see. Actually, there it goes. And say I'm going to YouTube and I want to have whatever it is I'm showing queued up, ready to go. Click here and you go ahead and play whatever it is that you're wanting to play for your family. So you can share a URL. You can also share, your desktop. And so here's our sight word books. I'm going to open up the PDF of my sight word book. I can make it a little bit bigger. Maybe this little box keeps getting in the way. Make it a little bit bigger so that way my students can see it. And then I'm going to just scroll to the pages that I want to show. So the first it's duplicate pages, the first set, but if you scroll down to the second set, it is one page at a time. So we could read cat and dog. And if I scroll down, it is a fork and spoon. It is a hat and balloon. And you can read the story together. And so you have the option of opening PDFs. You can open up PowerPoint. You can open up basically anything. It's sharing your screen. And so that's how that works. And then you can, what else? Oh, to stop screen share, I'm going to stop screen share here, and then it's going to pull me back over here. And you also have, with this screen share option, you have, oh, look, it's giving me this option now. If you want to just share your browser, you can just share your browser if that's here. So I have my YouTube queued up. I'm going to open it, and it's just going to show my YouTube. This little green box shows me that is the video that is showing right now on my students' screens. And then you're also going to get a cue of who is in your, who's watching with you. So say you're showing a video and you want to see that your students are doing the motions with you, you'll be able to see them right here on the side. And so that's a nice feature too. For some reason it didn't give me that feature right off the bat. So if that happens, exit out of the screen share and go back in. Again, to cancel screen share, I'm going to cancel there. And then another screen share option is the whiteboard. And so I've heard that the whiteboard does not work if you are on a Chromebook. So it most likely has to be a laptop or a desktop, and I would definitely check in with your students and see if they can see what you're doing too. So on here, you can go in and you can add text. Hi, everyone. So they're just seeing this box, and you're seeing the box and all of your students. And you can erase things, and you can draw things. You can add some stamps like that. All sorts of different things that you can do. And so you can undo, redo, clear. I'm going to clear my drawings. You can save your drawings, all of that kind of stuff. And so, whoops, and now it's pulling it up. So I'm going to stop my screen share, and I'm just going to hit stop screen share and come back to here. So that is basically, and you have these reactions too. So when you have a reaction, it's going to put this little emoji up in the corner for you, and you can do a thumbs up, just a fun little way for the students to interact with you as well. So I'm going to go ahead and pause here, and I'm going to get some students so that you can see what it looks like when your students are actually in your class. So I will be right back. Okay, so I'm on a second computer and I wanted you to see what's going to happen when your students actually log in. So I have the URL on my clipboard, and so I'm going to paste it in. I'm going to hit enter, and it is going to basically go through the same process. I'm going to allow it to connect, and oh, did you hear the ding? That means that somebody joined my my session. So I'm going to join with computer audio. That's what your families are going to need to do. Oh, isn't this fun? It's like me here and me here. And then you can unmute, your families can unmute themselves. They can control their video. If they want to see the chat, they can see the chat right here. Sometimes it'll ask them to embed it. Sometimes it won't. Sometimes it'll put it in a separate box. They can raise their hand if they need to, and you can see then it shows the hand raised and that kind of thing. So I'm going to go ahead and have an actual student come on here so that you can see what it looks like. So my two students that are in different spots in my house are actually going to click the link and join us. And there is my oldest son, and there is my youngest son. And so this is going to be what it looks like. And I remember we set it up so that everybody's muted right off the bat. So right when they come in, you can see that they're muted right here, and you can see that they're muted right here. You can unmute everybody by clicking this part right here, and you can mute everybody by clicking that part right there. So good morning, everybody. Everybody say good morning. Say good morning.
Good morning.
And you can see that whoever is talking, the screen will actually switch over to that person. For some reason, it's not doing it for me. But you can switch between views from right here to here to here. Now, when you're in speaker view, so this says gallery view, that's how to switch to gallery view. When you're in speaker view, I'm actually going to mute everybody. When you're in speaker view, which is this view right here, it should default to whoever is speaking on the screen. So when someone starts speaking, their view will take over. The thing with speaker view is it's only going to record the speaker. It's not going to record the people up here in this bar. So I would suggest going into gallery view. You will hopefully have more than 2 students in your session, and so when you go to gallery view, it's going to actually take a recording of everybody that's there, and the more people that you have there, the smaller the videos will get, and it'll stack them into nice little rows that look cohesive. So I've noticed on one thing right here, Mr. Brody, that his name is named Jennifer. So I would guess that a lot of your families are going to have it named as the adults just by default. Maybe they use Zoom. And so you can actually go up here and click the 3 little dots, and you can rename them. So I'm going to rename this one Brody, so that way now Brody knows that he's Brody and not Jen Kadar. And then you also have some other options. You can spotlight their video. You can make them a host. You can allow them to record. I don't think you need to do that. You can remove them. I don't think you need to do that either, and that kind of thing. But you can switch back and forth between the 2 views here. But again, remember, when you're in speaker mode, it's only recording the speaker. When you're in gallery mode, it's going to record everybody. I would think it would be best to be in gallery mode, because chances are not all of your students are going to be able to come to your live Zoom, and it really still would be beneficial for them to see all the kids in their class. Your families can access Zoom from either their desktop, laptop, iPad, or from their mobile device. If they are using a mobile device, though, they will need to download the Zoom app in order to access your Zoom session. It works exactly the same, though. You just send them the link, they click the link, and it'll recognize it in the app when they follow the link. Zoom on the phone will look a little bit different as well. It will default into speaker view, but you can swipe to the right in order to get to the gallery view, so that way they can see all of their friends. The chat is also a little bit hidden. They'll have to actually access the chat along the bottom row on their mobile app. On the desktop, it looks fairly simple. they'll have access to switch from gallery view or to speaker view right from the student's desktop in Zoom, but it will still record whatever you're looking at, and so you won't have to worry about them changing any of those. And so that's how it works. I would personally encourage my families to probably do it from a desktop or a laptop or an iPad, so that way the images of their friends are a little bit bigger and a little bit easier to see. However, many families might need to do it from a phone because they may be on the go, or that just may be the only technology that they have available to them. Chat over here, so you can type in and you can type hi there, and then they can actually type back. Let's see if Brody will type back. And then you can pick if you want one student to talk or multiple students to talk. See, look, Braden did it to me privately, so he would need to change his option to show to everybody in the meeting, not just to the teacher. And so see how Brody says to everybody? So he would just need to adjust the setting when he's chatting, which is perfect because now we showed you to do that. So it's literally that simple. You send them the link, they connect with audio, and then you either choose speaker view or gallery view, and it's the same options that I showed you before. So I'm going to go ahead and dismiss Braden and Brody. Wave bye, everybody. Bye. And I will show you a few more features.
Bye.
One of the features that we told you that we would share with you is how to stream it to a Facebook. Before I do that, I want to give you just two little things to think about before you do it. Number one is that Facebook, when you stream it to Facebook, it's basically going to take what you're viewing here on Zoom, and it's going to put a version of it, the exact version of what you're showing into your Facebook group. Because of that, you're going to have two separate platforms that have commenting as an option. So you will have to watch Zoom for comments or chatting, and you're going to have to watch Facebook for chatting or commenting. So I showed you how to have your chat box here so it's easy to see, but if you do choose to stream it to Facebook, you're going to want to have your phone out and have that group open and making sure that nothing is coming through on there as well. The second reason why it's not, maybe not the most ideal thing for this situation is that Facebook is going to just mirror what's happening here in your active frame over into your Facebook group. So if you're in gallery view, it's going to show all your students. However, it's only going to show the students that are accessing it via Zoom. Facebook does not, it's not a two-way street when you stream to Facebook. It's just taking that video and streaming it over to your group. And so anybody who's in that Facebook group won't be allowed to have their face show. And for that reason, I would probably ask everybody to use the Zoom link, but I can show you super quick how to do it just in case you want to do it because I've done it in the past. Another word of caution with this is just make sure that you're streaming it to a private Facebook group, and again that you have the the blessing of your administrator, because we want to make sure that we're following all of the rules that our district has laid out and all of the privacy issues that may come up. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. This is only available in a webinar. So I've switched over to have a webinar and not a meeting. And so down here, the options look just a little bit different. And so I'm going to click on more, and I'm just going to stream live to Facebook. And so when I do that, it's going to say choose where you want to post your live video. I'm going to do it in a group, and I am going to do my test class, one of my test classes that I have set up. You're going to click next, it's going to connect, and then you're going to have to push it live. And so when it connects here, it's going to allow you to type something in. This is our literacy lesson on day 1. And then down here in the corner, it's going to say go live. And I'm going to go live so that you can see exactly the way that it's working. And it wants you to add a title. So literacy 3-21 might be a great way to stream it so that it's titled. And I'm going to wait patiently for this to go live. And you can see here that it is now live inside my Facebook group. And so what I'm going to do then is I'm going to minimize my Facebook screen and go back to my Zoom, and I am going to just conduct my class as I would. Now up here it's going to remind you that you're live on Facebook. You can click here to stop the live stream, and you can always just end the meeting and it will all kind of just disappear and go away. And again, make sure that you have your phone close to you so that way you can keep an eye on your, and there it is. You can keep an eye on your class right from there, and you can interact and comment with them as well. So that's how you stream it live to Facebook. I'm going to go ahead and stop my live stream. And you're ready to end your meeting. To do that, you're going to come down here and you're just going to click End Meeting. It's going to ask you if you want to end it for all or if you want to leave the meeting open. So I'm going to end it for everybody. It's going to go into this file saving mode. It may take a little bit longer. I did just a short one so that it goes quick for our video. And then it's going to show you exactly where it saves. So you're going to want to take note of this. It's saving under Users, my name, Documents, a Zoom folder, and then the name of the file. On my computer, when I click Save, then it will actually open up that folder, but it may or may not do that on your computer for you. So just kind of note where it is. And that brings us to the very end of our tutorial. On a side note, I am going to be making a parent flyer that you can include for your families that gives them very basic directions on just what it's going to look like for them, almost like a cheat sheet that they can keep out at their desk when they are using their Zoom for your classes. So look for that shortly on Simply Kinder. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. We will do our best to answer your questions and try and stay ahead of everything that is going on with you moving towards teaching in this distance mode, this virtual learning mode. So I hope everybody has a great day, and I hope you stay safe and well, and I look forward to seeing you inside the Simply Kinder community. Bye.